right, welcome everybody to episode number 50 of Bracket Up, halfway to the century mark. I've been working on this for almost a year. That's quite amazing. I am handy dandy Andy Jarek, joined as always by the Giggle King, Julian Griffin. How are you, Julian?
Hot.
All that Mexicorn's getting to you, huh?
Yes, it's chili peppers on there.
Sounds spicy. And also joined by the man, best name in the whole wide world, Mr. Andy Misek. Where's your bag of Mexicorn?
I don't have one. Julian's gonna have to bring some over here.
For shame.
For shame. Where's your bag of Mexicorn?
Oh, it's in the closet. I can't reach it right now. We're recording.
Okay.
I'll get it later.
Okay.
So for our 50th episode, we decided to do something absolutely awesome and check out the best secondary Hey Arnold character you could ever think of. So this excludes Arnold, Helga, and Gerald, three main characters. Everybody else is fair game.
We put Grandpa in here? Yeah, we
No,
should.
Grandpa Phil is in there because
Yeah, it's right there.
So there's 33 other characters we came up with. So that means that there's one playing round because we have to be dickbags like that and do it that way. But otherwise, you guys ready to get started with these secondary minor characters?
Bet.
All right,
They're
so
not minor.
well, okay, minor-ish.
Well, they're sides.
Sure.
They're good side dishes.
Our side dish characters. Okay, I like that. Our first and only playing round pits Martin Johansson, which is Gerald's dad, against Marty Green, who I don't know who that is.
I'm pretty sure it's Johansson, not Johansson.
He's not Swedish?
No.
I mean, he might be, I guess, but no.
Okay, so yeah, Martin Johansson against Marty Green, the city councilman, right?
He was the butcher who then ran for city councilman.
Okay.
And that's just it. I don't know anything really about Martin Johansson. He was just like Gerald's cool dad.
He wasn't really that cool. He was
Yeah.
frugal.
Yeah, he's that guy. You've probably seen him around. He raised a cool kid,
Oh, definitely.
but is he as cool as this guy?
Sounds terrifying.
I mean, this man had his own spotlight episode where he ran for city councilman, as we've already mentioned.
Does he only have one boob?
That's what I was gonna say. It
What
looks
is
like
that?
he has a single boob under.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm looking at other pictures. There ain't no side boob action coming out in any of these other ones.
You picked the best one here.
Yeah,
Okay.
Green meats.
that's the name of his store. Because he's
Vegan meat.
because he's
Grass-fed.
He's Marty
Grass-fed
Green.
beef.
You're thinking too hard about this. It's the 90s.
Grass-fed
His name is
chicken.
Marty Green. He owns a meat shop. Green Meats.
Maybe he was vegan. You don't know.
And he works as a butcher?
Did you see him eat any of the food?
Yes!
I never seen him eat any of the food.
I don't know, but I mean, I don't think a vegan would want to be a butcher either.
Sure, it's a fair point.
He's got a son who's a vegetarian.
Oh, that was an episode, I think. That they.
Tells me.
Yes. Couple of weirdo characters to start off.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with my bias and go for Martin Johansson.
I'm gonna go with Marty Green because he actually has a character.
Let's see. Martin Johansson dislikes wasting electricity, and so do I. So I'm gonna give him the vote.
That's fine. It's not like either of these characters are gonna beat. Well, maybe.
Well, obviously, next matchup pits Martin Johansson again against Ernie. Who's Ernie?
Need to remember. Oh, he's a tenant at the boarding house,
Okay.
and he's very small, and he works in demolition.
And he's an asshole.
Yeah, he is an asshole.
Oh, Lord. Mallet's almost half his size.
Yeah, here's a picture of him on a date.
My God.
This character, though, he's had a couple of spotlight episodes because he worked with he showed Arnold like Demolition. He had this episode where he was dating this woman. Any episode that's centered in the boarding house, he's like a main character in that episode. So he gets a lot of spotlight. He's an asshole with a heart of gold, but maybe more like bronze.
He's Danny DeVito.
Sounds like more of an asshole. I don't know if he's going to get by Mr. Johansson.
Mr. Johansson is frugal as shit.
That's fair.
I know.
Make sure he doesn't waste money. That's it.
I'm rather surprised people give a shit about Mr. Johansson.
I give a shit about Mr. Johansson.
Reason being?
Because I give a shit about Mr. Johansson. I don't gotta explain nothing to you. I could just give a shit. I don't owe you an explanation.
I would like to know the explanation.
I'm just voting Martin Johansson because I just want to. Because he's Gerald's dad, and I love Gerald.
I'm gonna vote for Ernie because he has a character.
I give less of a shit about Ernie than I do about Martin. And
Yes.
Ernie's little Napoleon complex pisses me the fuck off already.
Right.
So goodbye, Ernie. And Martin Johansson.
Looking at how this is going, the bias for Martin Johansson might carry him through some of these weaker characters he's gonna go up against.
Oh, definitely.
All right, Martin Johansson to the final four. You heard it here first. But until then, we've got a ways to get. So our next matchup, Wolfgang against Harvey.
Jared, tell us who either of these characters are.
Wolfgang is the main bully.
Ah, very good. Yes, he's this guy right here.
Oh God, what a pig-nosed fuck.
Yeah, he's a bully. He's a 6th grader, while the other kids are 4th graders.
Is that Helga behind him?
No,
No.
those are his little gremlin friends. I don't even know who they are, so I didn't even put them. I didn't even bother putting them on this list.
All right, so he's a bully. Got it.
This one's name is Edmund, though.
Edmund. Okay.
About that.
You can tell he's a bully but has mullet.
Yeah.
I mean,
For whatever reason,
I
in the
got the one
90s,
there.
bullies had mullets.
Who's the kid that he's bullying?
That's Sid. We'll get to Sid later.
Right. Okay. All
I
right.
mean, we haven't gotten any of the characters where we could actually have a conversation about. That's why Mr. Johansson's in the 3rd round.
I just remember this kid, like, he bullied Chocolate Boy into doing dumb shit, and then would give him chocolate.
He basically, what he did is the crack addicted kid that they use chocolate instead of crack. He would tease him with his vice in order to get him to do stupid things, and then reward him with his vice. So imagine that, but I mean the analogy being crack.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, he's not a good person.
I don't want to vote him on.
Then you got Harvey Green. He sings a song about not liking rain, sleet, but really not liking the snow.
Ah, I love that song.
Is he a mailman?
Yeah, he's the
Hate
mailman.
snow. I hate the snow. I hate the rain and I hate the sleet. And man, I sure do hate the snow. I love that song.
Yeah, here he is singing it. Hold on. Oh no, the picture's not moving. Here we go. Here he is walking in the snow, singing about how he hates the snow. Not wrong with him.
The poor guy needs to get out of the mail delivering profession.
Look, I hate Wolfgang, so I'm just gonna vote for Harvey right now.
I'm voting for Harvey because Wolfgang is a bad influence.
Yeah, sounds like a real piece of shit.
Yeah, he is. He's basically giving a crack addicted kid crack.
Not cool.
Chocolate.
Yeah, we can call it whatever we want to call it. You know what the analogy was.
Nose chocolate.
That's what the analogy was.
Sure.
You're just as bad as Wolfgang.
Sure.
All right, next matchup, we've got Mr. Heine versus the Jolly.
It's
I
Win.
think it's Quinn.
Win. It's Mr. Quinn.
Mr. Quinn, okay.
Kiana.
I love that. Thank you. Against the Jolly Ollie, man.
All right, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Wikipedia. Tells me it's pronounced Win. Just like you. Okay.
So we all are going to vote for Mr. Quinn, but let's talk about it.
Why wouldn't we vote for the Jolly Ollie man?
Mr. Quinn's just a cool fucking guy.
He's a country music singer.
Yes, he also saved his daughter from the Vietnam War.
Wow, okay.
Or
I thought he saved a little girl.
That was his daughter.
Oh, that was his daughter, wasn't
Yeah, because only one could go on the planes to get out of the country that was in war, so he gave them his daughter. I mean, come on. Then he's up against the Jolly Ollie man, the angriest man in the show. the Wolfgang of adults. He bullies children.
He's got problems, but he's fun. Wolfgang's annoying, but he's fun.
He's fun. If anyone ever says anything to him, he just shuts down the ice cream truck in front of all the children.
And that's not funny to you? That's hilarious.
I mean, as an adult, sure. As a kid, although he does juggle ice creams in this episode.
See, look how happy everybody is. Helga's wearing a police officer's cap for whatever reason.
This was when. Oh no, this is the one where they all went to work on career day, and Arnold got to work with the Jolly Ollie man, and he was just like an angry, bitter man.
I was not expecting his character to look like that. I was thinking more of the lines of Ernie, but
he's
not. That guy looked happy in that clip or in that picture.
Here you go. Yeah. There's a bunch of not so happy versions of him.
God,
he's angry all the time.
He looks like he's an ex-band member of the Gorillas. He looks like he belongs with them.
If you told me this man punched a child, I'd be like, yeah, makes sense.
I'm gonna go ahead and vote for Mr. Quinn.
It's Mr. Quinn.
It's Mr. Quinn.
Why are there so many angry characters in Hey Arnold?
Because it's New York or Seattle or
I think it's Seattle.
New Jersey.
I think it's Seattle.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Jersey.
But I think they mentioned it was Seattle. Also, like, they live in, like, not a great area. It's kind of a poor area. That's why Arnold lives in a boarding house with a bunch of people.
I'll vote for Mr. Wynn. Move him along.
I thought for sure I'd vote against the Jolly Ollie man, but he did go up against one of, like, the best characters.
All right, matchup number 4 in our 32 round. Ruth versus Nadine.
Ruth McDougal.
Ruth.
Who was she? Wasn't Arnold's love interest at one point?
Yeah, because Arnold had 2 crushes.
Yeah, he had what's her name? Who's later on the list, and now Ruth McDougal, as you called her. Point being, I don't know either of these characters if they have a character.
I don't really care for Ruth McDougal because Ruth McDougal didn't do anything. And then Nadine.
She's just Rhonda's friend.
Yeah.
Like that's who she is. She's Rhonda's friend. I will say that she's like Rhonda's like the snooty stuck up bitch, and Ruth is kind of like, hey, don't be such a bitch all the time. She's also into weird shit. I remember she plays with like lizards and bugs and stuff, which is cool. I think cool.
Nadine or Ruth?
I thought Nadine did. I thought that was Nadine's thing. She likes like nature and bugs and lizards and reptiles and stuff.
In that case, yeah. I'm voting for Nadine.
Which freaks Rhonda out, because fuck Rhonda. We're gonna get to Rhonda later. Did you read about any of these characters, Jarek?
A little bit, yeah.
What do you know about Ruth? Because I know nothing.
Well, Ruth was caught with the waiter when she went on a date with Arnold. And so she's a cheating scum.
Ah.
So I will vote for Nadine, who likes, bugs and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah. Vote for Nadine as well, because fuck Ruth.
We don't like cheating scum here on Bracket Up.
We sure don't.
All right, next matchup. Brainy against Phoebe.
Hey, look, some characters that... Well, Brainy's more of just like a one-trick pony kind of guy. He's just there to stalk Helga.
Oh, Lord.
And he gets punched in the face all the time. And he deserves it, because he's a creep.
Aren't these kids like 10 years old? 9, 10 years old?
Yeah.
Oh.
So essentially, Helga goes off into the corner of the school, giving her sort of like announcements of love to Arnold. And in the middle of it, Brainy just pops up behind her, deep breathing heavily.
Oh, gross.
And then he is really gross. He's a creep.
Found a picture of him punching himself in the face.
Why does his neck go out perpendicular to his body?
He's punching himself in the face. Fucking Brainy. Hold on, let me get rid of these clowns.
Helga smacks him around as punishment for creeping on her, right?
Yeah.
Good.
He's a masochist.
Okay.
Yeah, so here he is being punched in the face.
All right, I like it.
But who doesn't love a creepy guy like Brainy?
He's gonna be later in his life. He'll be an incel.
And there's Phoebe. Phoebe's cool.
Phoebe is cool.
Phoebe is to Helga like Gerald is to Arnold.
All right.
Except for Helga's very demanding and bitchy towards Phoebe often.
Yeah. And Phoebe just rolls with the punches. She's also super fucking smart.
A lightning rod. She's the Meg of Hey Arnold.
Well, only with Helga. Everyone seems to like Phoebe. I wouldn't be shocked if Gerald and Phoebe got together, because they like each other, I think.
Oh, well, that makes sense then.
I mean, they've hinted towards it.
I don't remember that.
There you go. Here's a picture. I only remember this because I have all the pictures sitting right in front of me. They apparently went to a school dance together, and here's Gerald.
Putting it on.
Shooting a shot. There you go. Everyone likes Phoebe. Phoebe's great. Brainy's a stalker. Okay. Go vote for Phoebe.
I'm gonna vote for Phoebe because she's not a creep.
Yeah, get Brainy out of here. So many.
Hey Arnold's got a lot of bad characters. Angry, creepy, abusive.
All right, maybe this next matchup doesn't have any gross characters. Wow. Harold against Olga Pataki.
Okay, so Harold is the 4th grade bully, but is also like a friend. He's also the fat kid they make fun of for being fat. And he doesn't do himself any favors by buying clothes that are too small for him.
Oh, okay, I recognize him.
Yeah, he's like a bigger character. He had a spotlight episode where he had his bar mitzvah. Reason being because he's 13 where all the other characters are 10, because he was so stupid he got held back several years. So there's that. He had the episode where he worked with Marty Green.
Oh, the butcher?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay.
That was a heartfelt episode. That was a really good episode.
So was the bar mitzvah episode.
Bar mitzvah. Bat mitzvahs for girls, I think.
Ah, I'm learning.
Is this like an episode where he learns the value of hard work kind of thing?
Yeah. I think it's because like he steals or something like that, and then Mr. Green catches him and then forces him to work, and then he learns that he actually really likes working.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice.
Also, apparently, I forgot his love interest. That was a whole episode too.
Oh, that was adorable. Because she's everyone's afraid of her, but she's actually really cool. Yeah,
we didn't put her on the list. Probably should have, because she's in a few episodes too. But yeah, Harold is he's like a bully, but like a cool bully. Not like Wolfgang bully. Also, he gets bullied for being the fat kid, who's also held back like 3 times. And then there's Olga. Julian, you could talk about Olga while I pull up the picture.
Olga is Helga's older sister that everyone in her family seems to really give a shit about. And Helga's just like the annoying little sister. But she's annoying. She's she's what you would think of as far as like a super progressive liberal that goes to Caltech or something like that, or UCLA.
Best way to describe her is she's a perfectionist that perfects everything, and she's depressed about it. Like she's constantly being crying about something. Like the smallest thing goes wrong, and she has like a mental breakdown. But her parents she's a prodigy child. She's like a great pianist. I think she's in college and at like a really good school. And her parents are always like showering her with love while neglecting Helga.
Yeah.
But
they care about her more than they care about Helga.
The funny thing though is like she's actually like a really good person, which also pisses Helga off because not only is she perfect, but she's like the only person in the family who gives a shit about Helga as well.
Gotcha.
But she's annoying. Very much like Julian said, very annoying.
She's extremely annoying. Just like her parents. Her father is annoying.
Fuck you, Big Bob. Big Bob and his beepers are the best.
Big Bob is awful. He's an awful person.
We'll get to Big Bob later. But I mean,
Big Bob would definitely wear a MAGA hat.
Probably.
We're getting to Big Bob real soon.
Yeah. Well, we'll be talking.
I'm voting Harold.
Voting Harold.
Because I can't stand Olga.
And I'll vote along you guys. Speaking of Big Bob, here's his time in the sun. Does he have enough to take down Principal Warts?
Come on. Yes. Big Bob is like, you know how there's always that guy in a show, like he's kind of the villain, but you like him anyway because he's a good bad guy. That's Big Bob.
No.
He's not a good person, but like
he's an awful person.
But everyone likes Gus Fring from Breaking Bad, and I can't think of a more awful person.
Yeah, but we're talking about Hey Arnold, and I don't know whose words. Principal Warts is awful too, because I remember that episode that he was in where he tried getting Arnold to snitch, and he bribed him, and when he wouldn't, he punished him.
Oh.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
That's really manipulative.
He is a manipulative.
Yeah, Principal Warts is manipulative.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe him. Big Bob is just a businessman who owns a beeper emporium, which in today's day and age would make him broke as shit. Here he is with a commercial with a pig.
Oh, sorry.
You're allergic to the bullshit that you just saw? I agree.
Look, he's a bad father. He's a bad husband. But he's a great beeper salesman.
No, seriously, he is an awful husband and an awful father.
He's also just fucking angry. Another always angry character. I love Big Bob. Not because he's a good character or a good person, but he's just fun to dislike.
That looks like someone completely different.
Nope.
That's Big Bob.
Big Bob.
That's also Big Bob.
Big Bob, Big Bob, Big Bob.
I'd have to vote Big Bob because I couldn't stand voting for somebody like Principal Warts.
I'm gonna vote for Big Bob because he's my favorite villain of the show.
God, he's so bad.
I guess I'll.
Disgusting.
He's a great villain.
Principal Warts looks like he conveniently misses out on all of the sexual harassment training that HR gives.
With this face.
With that face.
I skipped.
Yeah, I'll also vote for Big Bob.
Big Bob and his beepers, baby.
Terrible.
What we're learning here is Jarek didn't watch Hey Arnold, and he's realizing probably for the best because all these characters are evil people.
Not evil, they're just awful.
Okay. All right, next matchup, we've got Dino Spumoni. He's allowed here, right? Frank Sinatra.
He is Frank Sinatra in a nutshell.
Isn't Grandma Gertrude like obsessed with him?
Everyone in the show is obsessed with Dino Spumoni.
He's going up against Sheena.
I remember when Dino Spumoni was introduced, it was an episode where he faked his death. What a guy. But like, I think he lived in the boarding house for a little bit. I think they did a like E behind the music with him episode as well. I could be mistaken, Julian. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of Dino Spumoni episodes.
Here's a picture of Dino Spumoni to remind you.
That's why I thought that like Grandma Gertrude was like super obsessed with him.
Potentially, but everyone liked Dino Spumoni. Oh, there was a behind the music one because here's a picture of him in his ill-fated rap career.
Oh my god.
Oh, Dino Spumoni.
I'm so glad I don't remember that.
Wikipedia says that he used to work as a construction worker, and he wears a toupee and has had multiple marriages.
Yeah, that sounds like Dino Spumoni.
There was also an episode where he sang a very depressing song at the high school dance, or at the school dance.
Yes, he did do that. Yeah, because they needed an act for the dance, and Arnold got Dino Spumoni there, and the song was just like about being left by his wife or something.
Man has his emotions on his sleeve. I can't fault that.
I also think it's funny in a children's cartoon, there's an entire episode centered around this man faking his death. It's just
a whole lot to live for, apparently, this man.
Alright, he's going up against Sheena, who I don't recognize at all.
I don't know much about Sheena, and I'm starting to wonder if
one of Rhonda's friends.
I'm starting to wonder if I was wrong that is Nadine the lizard one or is Sheena?
No, it's Nadine.
It is Nadine. What is Sheena, other than just having an upside-down triangle-shaped head?
Wikipedia says that she's a geeky girl who does not like violence. Her Aunt Shelley is the school nurse. Her uncle Earl rows a boat. And she has a crush on Eugene Horowitz.
Oh, that's a shame. Because of that, I'm voting for Dino Spumoni.
I'm voting for Sheena because she seems peaceful.
Dino Spumoni faked his death. I find that to be hilarious.
He needs a big hug, and I'm the one to give it to him. We're moving Dino on.
Keep going, Dino!
Sheena would probably give him a big hug.
Probably. Oh, we have possibly the easiest matchup up next.
All right, we've got
Grandpa Phil, easy.
Against Coach Jack, was he a gym teacher?
Gym teacher, basketball coach. He's wherever you need an abusive coach.
Oh, wonderful.
A shitty abusive coach.
Okay.
Here's Grandpa Phil. I think he needs no introduction. I almost kept him off of this list because he might be considered a main character.
Right.
He is the best. Meanwhile, he's up against this guy screaming at a 10-year-old.
Him
and Big Bob are friends, obviously.
they go to the same manga rallies.
Is that a bowling? That's a bowling alley.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's wherever the coach role needs him. Here he is in the basketball locker room.
Okay. Oh god. All right.
Where he taught his son how to cheat.
Yeah, basically, his son was on the team, and the goal of the team was give the ball to his son, and if you didn't, you're benched.
Oh, I like that.
He is. If you've ever played a sport and you had like a verbally abusive coach, you relate greatly to this.
Yep.
Here he is in his broken home.
He just looks sad.
He doesn't have the best life, possibly because he's an abusive man.
Wikipedia says that he asked Arnold to be the best man in his wedding.
Oh, he did! He did.
And then he had...
That's not weird.
No, not at all.
Especially when you scream at him in his face like this.
So gross. And then he had Gerald, Sid, and Stinky Peterson as his groomsmen. That's the weirdest fucking thing. A 40-year-old has a bunch of 10-year-olds standing up at his wedding. Ew.
Not Big Bob.
See, Big Bob is better than that.
Not Big Bob, not Ernie, not even Martin Johansson. That's what I would want as my best man if I were him.
Here he is staring at Stinky in anger, probably thinking, in a year you'll be my groomsman.
That's get him off the screen.
Get him some Colgate, because why are his teeth yellow?
Also, remember, he was getting married. Here's a picture of him screaming at his wife.
Oh, no.
Every Hey Arnold character is awful. Voting Grandpa because it's fucking
Grandpa's
cool.
not awful.
Yeah, absolutely. Grandpa Phil.
See you later, Coach Jack.
All right. Gross. Go away. All right. Next up, we've got Eugene, the former love interest of Sheena, against Curly.
So the shtick with Eugene is he's the most upbeat person on planet Earth, despite basically being a lightning rod for bad luck.
Okay.
In every episode, he's getting injured. There's literally an episode where Arnold was trying to prove to him that there's no such thing as bad luck, and he proceeds to get hit by a bus in that episode.
He's always in a cast, always in a wheelchair.
Oh.
The kid can't catch a break at all.
Here's an episode of him wrapped in bandages while choking on a hot dog.
Why does his hair look like an open toilet seat?
It could also be an L.
Yeah.
Because he's a loser.
Because
in the game of life, I've never seen somebody so unlucky. Here he
honestly,
is.
you know what? I wish instead, like, remember the worst place to live when we did that podcast? Obviously, this universe has to be the worst place to live with all the copious amount of assholes who live here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Man, I feel bad for Eugene.
He's getting strangled by a snake.
You can't help but feel bad for this kid.
No, and they played off his agonizing pain as comedy. His catchphrase is "I'm okay." Every time he's hit by a bus or choked by a snake, he has to just tell everyone, "I'm okay."
Oh man. All right.
Curly, that's the other one. Fuck. Julian, Curly me. Who's Curly?
I don't remember.
Oh, he's the one who lost his mind over dodgeball and locked himself in the principal's office with all the dodgeballs. I think it was over dodgeball. I don't know. He's a lunatic.
Wikipedia describes him as the class sociopath.
I mean, here's a good picture to prove that point.
I'm just seeing Curly or Eugene.
Oh, you're not. Could you not? Julian, could you see anything other than Eugene?
I just see Eugene, but I don't remember much of Curly. Like, I don't remember anything about him at all.
I'm resharing my screen, and then you'll see a maniacal Curly.
Oh, Lord.
Here he is, locked in the principal's office with the dodgeballs.
I can't see his eyes.
Here he is, terrifying Rhonda.
Okay.
I mean,
Just another
This kid
example.
needs help.
there's a lot of just awful characters in Hey Arnold, just bad people.
Wait, doesn't he have a crush on Rhonda because he likes her? Like, that's why he abuses her, because he likes her.
Yeah, he's into Rhonda.
Oh, it's funny. Bam.
Eyes are all misshapen.
I gotta vote for Eugene.
I gotta vote for Eugene too.
I'm gonna vote for Curly just because I got some yucks out of him. And I knew Eugene would move on anyway. It seemed like a safe place to make my bad vote.
And speaking of Rhonda, she's up next against Miriam Pataki. That is Helga's mom.
Drunk.
Drunk.
Oh.
Drunk. She's drunk all the time.
Let's talk about Rhonda, because Rhonda sucks.
Yeah, Rhonda sucks, but she's also not a drunk, neglectful mother.
She's on her way.
She's 10. Stop that.
She's so snooty and stuck up rich.
She is snooty and she's stuck up.
She makes fun of the other children for being below her.
And yet, I would rather vote for her than Miriam, because Miriam used to make me so mad. I'm like, how can you be this bad at mothering? This bad. And I'm like, no wonder Helga's the way she is, because between Big Bob and her, she doesn't have a good upbringing.
She wasn't drinking alcohol, Julian. It was smoothies.
Sure, that's what you call it.
Yeah, it's same with Chocolate Boy, huh?
Whatever. And then the scenes that basically like were cut out, she was adding vodka or wine. She was drunk.
She did also pass out a lot.
Yes.
She passed out standing up.
Oh my God.
Who else does that? You know what? I'll give you the crackhead Chocolate Boy thing. If we can both agree that Miriam was a drunk.
I mean, she's a fucking drunk.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
She had her driver's license suspended.
Yes.
Forced to do community service.
Here's a picture of her crashing the car when she got her driver's license suspended with her 10-year-old daughter.
She's awful. I'm voting for Rhonda.
Yeah, Rhonda sucks, though. I hate Rhonda. I hope Rhonda loses next round.
Whatever. Just get Miriam out of here before she kills somebody.
Miriam was a champion bull rider before marrying Bob, and she used to be an Olympic-class swimmer. She reveals in the episode Olga Gets Engaged that she regrets marrying Bob, which resulted in throwing her life away. Oh no.
Yep.
I always feel like I should vote for her now because it's so sad. She had so much potential.
You don't have to.
Yeah, you're right. Rhonda.
I'll vote for Rhonda also.
See you later, drunk.
All right, next up, that's Susie versus Mr. Simmons. I don't recognize either of these.
So Mr. Simmons is cool. He's the teacher.
Okay.
And I think in the didn't he come out of the closet at some point? And like, didn't he?
I guess you're thinking of every substitute teacher trope that's in the 90s cartoons, like Mr. Garrison. He came out in the 90s.
Mr. Simmons isn't the substitute. They replaced him at one point with a military instructor because he was too soft on the kids, but then it turned out he was helping with their emotional development, while the drill instructor was, a Big Bob type.
True.
Wikipedia says that, I don't know if it's the director of the show or the creator of the show, confirmed that he was gay.
He's a super cool character though. He's just like in a sea of bad people, he's a good guy.
He's just a good guy.
He is just a good guy. And then there's Susie. I feel bad for Susie because
she's an enabler.
She's married to Oscar Kakashka.
And all he does is get drunk and sit on the couch.
So they had to babysit in one episode. And Oscar, we'll talk more about the babysitting episode with Oscar, but he basically made Miriam take care of the baby while he like gambled and drank.
Jesus.
Also Susie's constantly being demanded to make him a sandwich.
Oh God.
Yeah, she's an enabler.
Yeah, she just goes along with it.
Oh.
I'm voting Mr. Simmons.
Here's a picture of Oscar and Susie. It's funny seeing Jarek learn about the shows we watched as children, because he didn't watch it.
I don't like that at all. I feel bad for Susie.
She's such an enabler. Although she does fight back sometimes.
No, when she's like 100% fed up with the shit,
Yeah,
then
like
she'll fight back. But after that, nah.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about Oscar. He's Dominic's favorite character.
He's so bad.
I can't wait to talk Oscar. We got him later. I'm gonna vote for Mr. Simmons. He's cool. Susie has no personality, enables this awful man.
Yeah, I guess I'll vote for Mr. Simmons as well.
Right, Simmons moves on. I assumed, if I remember correctly, Julian also voted for Mr. Simmons.
Oh, of course, he's a good guy.
All right, next up, we've got Iggy against Lila Sawyer.
Lila is Arnold's love interest now.
Yeah, Lila is she turned her back on Arnold. She friend zoned him.
He likes Arnold, but she doesn't like Arnold.
Yeah, she friend zoned him.
That's Lila. She is basically Olga for the 10-year-olds.
No, she's she made me mad because Arnold was so into her and he did all this stuff for her, and then she friend zoned him, and I'm like, forget you. No one likes you anyway.
Like, everyone likes her, and she's like perfect. She's like a perfect student and like a prodigy at everything. And then you like the saddest thing is like you find out like the dad lost his job in one episode after she was bullied for being the new girl.
Oh.
But then the dad gets the job, and they're no longer sad and hungry. And then you never see any problems with her ever again. She's perfect in every way.
Okay.
Except, we'll get to Arnie eventually, but she has a crush on Arnold's creepy cousin Arnie.
Oh.
Because he's simple.
He is very simple.
Okay, then.
And then there's Curly. I don't know much about Curly. I'm gonna pull up a picture of Curly because I'm sure Julian doesn't remember Curly either.
I don't remember him.
Yeah, he's Curly.
Does he do like slam poetry or something?
He wears bunny pajamas. That's about all I remember.
This is Iggy, right?
Yeah, Iggy.
Okay.
Did I say Curly?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right.
This is Iggy.
Okay. Another guy. I can't see his fucking eyes. That just scares me. I don't like that.
Here, I'll show you his eyes when he's wearing bunny pajamas. There you go.
Okay. Oh god, he looks like Ralphie in A Christmas Story. Oh no. Oh god. Okay. So what's Iggy's game? What's he about?
He's weird.
He's weird. Like, he's not really in many episodes. I was hoping you'd have that wiki up for us.
I'm finding him. Okay. Oh god, he's got a long paragraph.
Oh god, Iggy.
All right. So a friend of Arnold who is considered popular amongst his classmates. Something of a troublemaker. Let's see. God, okay. So evidently Sid and Stinky discover that he wears the bunny pajamas, and I don't know, they tell like the whole class and but Iggy blames Arnold for it.
Oh.
And then Arnold ends up wearing the same pajamas to, I don't know, just because he's a nice kid. Okay. But then Arnold gets pissed off because Iggy didn't believe Arnold, that Arnold didn't tell everybody that he was wearing the pajamas. Alright. That's really it.
Iggy sucks.
Iggy sucks. I'm voting for Lila, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
I'll vote Lila, even though she friend zoned Arnold.
How
and
dare
then
she?
Dropped him for his cousin.
His creepy cousin Arnie. We'll get to Arnie sooner or later.
All right, next matchup, we've got Sid against Mrs. Vitello.
Yeah.
Isn't Mrs. Vitello like, she just yells at people out of her window?
Yeah, she's the flower shop woman who is seemingly nice, but she's got a mean streak, like everyone in this damn show.
Oh, God. What's that?
Are you gonna ask why is everyone so mean? Well,
I almost did, but we talked about that already.
They're all just angry people trying to get by in this world.
So she runs a flower shop?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She looks like the kind of person who would run a flower shop.
What a bitch.
Oh.
Jesus.
I mean, she yells at children.
That's true. She does yell at children.
I think I'm fair in that assessment of her character.
Wikipedia says that Arnold and Gerald helped run the shop after she fell and injured her back or something.
Sounds like something Arnold would do. Hey, there's this terrible person who screams at us, so let's help her.
Yeah.
It sounds like something Arnold would do. Gerald would probably ask, why are we doing this?
No, Gerald has a heart of gold too. You gotta lump him in with Arnold.
I mean, he does it, but he usually is the one who always asks questions first. When Arnold wants to go dive headfirst into something, Gerald's the one who's usually like, wait, let's think about this for a second.
Everyone needs a friend like that.
Yeah, everybody needs a friend that thinks about things before.
Gerald and Arnold have hearts of gold. Then there's Sid, who's an anatomy I can't figure out for the life of me. Where's his nose starts under his hat?
He's got cowboy boots on.
Oh no, there's a whole episode about those. There, where his boots got stolen.
He's got 14 pieces of hair. And that's it.
Actually, here he is talking about how his boots got stolen.
They took my beetle boots.
Also, this is a world where 10-year-old children can have his shoes stolen.
That's true.
Oh, how was this show for kids? Also, Sid's kind of a dick, if I remember correctly.
I'd say he's more morally flexible. He's not really a dick.
It was him, Harold, and Stinky, and Harold was the biggest jerk, and then Sid, and then Stinky was just kind of along for the ride jerk.
I remember that episode where Sid thought that Stinky was a vampire.
I also remember the episode. Oh, go on. Sorry.
I was gonna say Sid seems kind of like a fanatic over certain things. When he gets really stuck on something, he really does get. He kind of has an addictive personality for me.
That's perfect because remember the episode where he became a germaphobe?
Yep.
Oh.
He takes things to the extreme.
Yeah, he's probably has obsessive compulsive disorder.
Okay.
But he's a friend with the main characters. Obviously Arnold and Gerald are the two main friends, but then there's Harold, Stinky, and Sid, which are best friends, and they hang out with Arnold and Gerald. So the group of five guys are Arnold, Gerald, Stinky, Sid, and Harold.
Right.
So he's around a lot. He's got some spotlight episodes.
For sure.
Here's a picture of him eating a frog for some reason. I don't remember why.
Jesus Christ.
It's really weird.
I was hoping Julian would tell me why, but apparently he doesn't remember either.
This doesn't sound like a character you want to remember much about.
But you do. That's the thing.
He's a good person, but also a terrible person.
So many shades of gray in the Hey Arnold cinematic universe.
I mean, there's nothing more gray than Sid.
That black jacket tells me so.
Who was Sid up against, by the way? I'm voting for Sid. Fuck the flower shop woman.
I'm gonna vote. I'll give a pity vote for Mrs. Vitello.
Yeah, I'll vote for Sid as well, I guess. I don't feel good about it. All right, next up, Grandma Gertie versus Oscar.
Look, I know who's going to win this matchup, and rightfully so. Bad matchup for Oscar, because Grandma's cool. She's a hippie. She's an activist. She's a little bit crazy and senile, but that just makes her character great.
She is not senile. She is as clear as day on everything.
Hold on, it's just pull up some senile photos for you.
She's dressed up as a cat. She is so in tune with everything.
She is nuts. She's a little off her rocker, but in all the best ways.
She's eccentric, but she's awesome. She taught Kung Fu. Who would have thought? She's a Kung Fu master.
I mean,
I love that.
You're not wrong. She is, in fact, a Kung Fu master. Also, she got Arnold to help her save a giant tortoise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, she's gonna go far.
And whenever there's trouble, she is right there.
She's not as prominent of a character as Grandpa, but she's like as memorable in a lot of ways.
And she offers a lot of insight. So much insight.
Sometimes it's not good insight though, because she is, again, a little on the wacky side.
It is good insight.
Not always.
Yes, she does offer really good insight. She always leads Arnold to do the morally right thing. Look, whenever cool. She spits wisdom, she spits wisdom.
She's a good lady. There's no arguing that she's a good lady.
So I have a feeling that Oscar doesn't stand a chance based on you describing him as a real shithead about 5 minutes ago.
He is a real shithead.
He is Dominic's favorite character.
He's awful. He's an awful person.
All I need to know.
He's an angry guy with a very thick Eastern European accent. He's illiterate.
Okay.
And Arnold teaches him to read. And there's an episode where Arnold just kind of leaves him at the library to learn to read. And he goes to the children's section and starts reading with the children, but he's not letting the other children read. He's like, no, it's my turn still. He reads Pet the Kitty, and then he holds the cover up. He's like, look, I'm petting the kitty. I'm like,
I'm gonna get this pedophile out of here.
Arnold just leaves his ass in the city, and he's like, you gotta read signs to kill.
Oh, God.
It's also the episode where he's taking care of the baby, and he's gambling with the baby, and he puts the baby in the pot to gamble on, I think it was like a straight.
Okay.
And Susie's like, you lost the baby? He's like, I had it straight. How would I know he had a full house?
He lost the baby?
He lost
yes.
the baby.
Did he get it back? How did he get it back?
He ended up getting it back, but then also, see, Oscar's episodes always end with Oscar learning a lesson. Granted, the lesson never sticks. But like in the episode,
just goes back doing the same bullshit that he always does.
The baby, he starts to like the baby after a while, and then the baby, he thinks gets sick, and he takes it to the hospital. In Oscar way, there's an old woman who's there, and he shoves her down multiple times to get the baby. Turns out the baby only had hiccups. Oscar's not very smart.
Oh.
So he also is always demanding Susie to make him a sandwich. In fact, his catchphrase is, Susie, make me a sandwich.
I don't like him one bit.
He also, in one episode, needs to earn money, so he steals children's jobs, like having a paper route, which he proceeds to break everyone's windows. There's not one positive attribute to Oscar Kokoschka.
Not one.
So I'm gonna vote for him for Dominic, and let Grandma win this round.
I'm voting Grandma.
Yeah, so am I.
Good. That was for you, Dominic. You're never gonna listen to this, but that was for you.
Wikipedia describes Oscar as a lazy, inconsiderate, mooching, pathological liar.
Yup. That's Oscar. Look, he's the worst, but when he's on screen, you get a few yucks.
That's really all that matters. As long as you get a few yucks, you can excuse him manipulating a 10-year-old.
And his wife,
baby,
and a baby, and his friends, and the other boarding house members. Really, everybody.
Oh, man. All right, enough about Oscar. We are on to our last matchup of the Sweet 16. We've got Stinky Peterson against Arnie, Arnold's cousin.
Let's start with Arnie, because Arnie doesn't have much to say. Because his entire character is being creepy and dull, like Children of the Corn creepy.
Yeah.
Oh. Propeller hat. I love the propeller hat.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he always takes weird, random, big sniffs.
Okay.
Julian, got anything to add to Cousin Arnie?
He likes to collect lint and gum.
Oh yeah, he was a lint collector. And I think the gum was
weird.
used gum.
He's just your average weird ass cousin.
So he went on a date with Lila. It looks like they're at a movie theater.
Yeah. Oh, Lila can't get enough of Cousin Arnie.
Because he's so simple.
Also, he lives in a cornfield. In the middle of a cornfield.
Okay. Oh, he develops a crush on Helga.
But Lila likes Arnie.
Right.
Arnold likes Lila, but Helga likes
Helga
Arnold.
loves Arnold. She loves Arnold.
You see that circle?
That's
forming.
When you throw Arnie's love of Helga in there. It's a love parallelogram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Arnie. He's a character.
That's Arnie, and we've got Stinky Peterson.
First off, could you imagine naming your kid Stinky?
Is that his real name?
Yes, I think so. I've never heard him called anything else.
I thought that he had red hair.
He does. This is just an older picture. His catchphrase is, "That really bites."
He has a really weird southern accent.
Yeah. They have a farm in the middle of the concrete jungle.
They do.
I like it.
And
that really bites.
Actually, that was a good impression of what he sounds like. That is like exactly his inflection and tone as well.
It's really slow, thick southern drawl.
Yeah, he got a commercial gig for Yahoo Soda, which is the soda of the show, and all he would say is Yahoo Soda, just drink it.
Really selling me on Stinky here.
Stinky's great. I want to find him. He tends to the crops. He grew a giant pumpkin in one episode. Here's sad Stinky on a swing. I don't know where that came from. Sad Stinky on a swing. Also, remember when I said he owned a farm in the middle of like a city? I wasn't fucking joking.
That's cool.
But yeah, they've got a field out in the back. He tends to the crops.
How they do it, I have no idea.
Stinky Peterson could do anything. I'm a fan of Stinky Peterson. He won the pumpkin growing contest.
So, Jarek, which hick do you like better?
I'm going with Stinky.
Rightfully so. I will also
I'm going with Arnie.
I'm a Stinky Peterson fan.
I'll give a pity vote to Arnie.
Arnold's cousin Arnie.
All right, we are on to the Sweet 16. Our first matchup, got to think back a while. Martin Johansson against Harvey.
I mean, neither of these characters are characters, but Harvey's dope. So I'm going to vote for Harvey.
I'm voting for Martin Johansson because he's Gerald's dad and he's frugal.
Harvey sings a song about hating the snow, and that is fucking relatable.
That is true.
For us Illinois folk.
Yeah, I think I got to go with Harvey on this one.
Actually, I'm not mad at either.
All right, Harvey moves on. Next up, Mr. Wynn versus Nadine.
Win.
I mean, it's Win. So here's the thing. Win, we sort of talked about the Christmas episode where that's the episode you find out he gave his daughter up to protect her from the war. And at this point, the daughter's estranged. He doesn't know her. She's an adult. And always around Christmas, he's very sad because, he doesn't know his daughter. And the whole episode is Arnold trying to find Mr. Quinn's daughter. And that is probably one of the best Christmas episodes of any TV show ever. And it centers around Mr. Quinn. I will vote for Mr. Quinn.
I'm voting Mr. Wynn.
Yep, sounds good to me. All right, Mr. Wynn's on. Next, we got Phoebe versus Harold.
Two good characters. Two more, I don't want to call them main because these are secondary characters, but more main characters to the show. Multiple.
I'm gonna vote Phoebe because she's better.
I'm gonna vote Harold because his episodes seem to have more heart to him, with his bar mitzvah, his learning about hard work, his falling in love with the other bully who gets picked on and seeing the good in her. I think Harold is a good person.
Phoebe isn't obviously a good person.
Yeah, but Phoebe doesn't have that development Harold does. Because part of this has to do with if the character's cool or not. The other has to do with how the show handles the character.
True.
Yeah, I'll vote for Phoebe.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Phoebe's dope. Ain't no one complaining if Phoebe moves on.
Well, maybe we'll complain if Big Bob beats Dino Spumoni.
Two terrible people. I mean, Dino Spumoni is not good to Arnold or any of the characters in the show. He also there's a reason he's got multiple wives and sings about how they leave him.
Right.
And fakes his own death.
Big Bob seems worse to the Pataki family.
Big Bob is just overworked and has to provide with his beeper emporium.
He also screams at everyone.
Yeah.
While his wife gets constantly drunk, his daughter is an emotional wreck, and then his other daughter is just neglectful and angry.
Now, here's the thing. I could name one good thing Bob has done, and I can't name one good thing Dino's done. Because in the episode, remember, Bob was going to tear down that tree, and the grandma and Arnold were trying to protect the tree, and they staged, they linked arms and were going to stand in front of the tree as it was going to be bulldozed, and Helga joined. And Big Bob is like, no, I'm not going to kill my daughter, and the construction worker was going to do it, and he saved them. So Big Bob saved his daughter. He cares enough to save her. Over the money he would have got, he would have, I think it was for an expansion on his beeper import, something where he would have made a lot of money. Dino Spumoni faked his death to protect his money.
It sounds like Big Bob literally did the bare minimum, which is not kill your daughter.
Which is more than I could say about Dino Spumoni. I'm voting Big Bob, baby.
I'm voting for Dino.
Jules have to vote because they're both shitty.
I'm gonna have to also vote for Big Bob because at least he did that.
He did the bare minimum, which is more than Dino.
Dino didn't even do the bare minimum.
He went to a school dance and sang about his wife who left him.
Whatever. All right. Big Bob moves on. Next up, Grandpa Phil against sad Eugene, who gets ran over by buses.
I'm voting for Grandpa.
A really hard one.
No, Grandpa's the best.
I'm voting Eugene because no matter what happens to that kid, he just always has an upbeat, good outlook on life.
You talk about how the grandma had good advice for Arnold, and you're gonna ignore the good advice the grandpa gave.
I never said that he didn't. It's just that the grandpa didn't have to go through all kinds of shit and then look up and say, what a beautiful day. You imagine being hit by a bus and then being someone losing control of your wheelchair after you got hit by a bus, only to be hit by another bus.
Hold on now. You would say Grandpa Phil's an upbeat man, right?
Yeah, but
he has to try and collect rent from Oscar Kokoschka. Talk about a rough life.
Wow. Okay, so talking to a drunk asshole is harder than getting hit by a bus.
Trying to make a living.
And then choking on a hot dog. Being 10 years old and nearly dying every single day.
Taking in your son's son so they could go travel across the country.
It's his grandson. Like, what?
He's raising his grandson. That's honorable.
It's not my kid's not related to me. That's my son's son. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, he's raising his grandson. That's awesome. At the ripe old age of 80, he's raising a 10-year-old.
I'm voting Eugene because Eugene goes through so much shit and yet still wakes up with a smile on his face.
Grandpa deals with Oscar Kokoschka's bullshit and wakes up with a smile on his face. And I would argue that's just as bad as being hit by a bus.
Okay.
Remember talking about Oscar and how disgusted you got? Now imagine living with him. Jarek?
I think I'm going to vote for Grandpa Phil because he fed all the Nazi soldiers fake spam and poisoned them to death and won the Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah, that's right. He's a war veteran and a hero.
Oh.
He's got a whole statue, it said, somewhere in Washington, D.C.
And he still has to deal with Oscar Kokoschka every day.
True.
Well, poor Eugene's probably going to end up getting his arm chopped off.
Well, you know what? Get more lucky than Eugene.
Jesus.
Poor kid is 10, Andy. Give him a break.
Give him a break.
Oh, God. All right. Mr. Simmons against Rhonda is our next matchup.
I don't think there's going to be any arguments here who deserves to win. Julian?
Oh. I think I'm voting for Mr. Simmons.
It's Mr. Simmons. Julian?
I'll vote Mr. Simmons.
Why would you vote for the stuck-up bitch?
It's a 10-year-old kid, man.
All right, next up, Leela Sawyer against Sid.
Y'all talked about how we didn't like Lila, right?
Well, right, she friend-zoned Arnold. Right?
She friend-zoned Arnold, and she's basically the 10-year-old version of Olga. With a little more depth to her. Also, she's into Arnie.
I didn't like.
Yeah, she friend zoned. She friend zoned Arnold for his cousin. Yeah, fuck. I'm going with Sid. Fuck Lila.
I guess I'll vote for Sid also, but I don't like it.
That's okay. Sid ain't beaten either of the two in this one.
Probably not. Final matchup in the Sweet 16: Grandma Gertie against Stinky Peterson.
Grandma Gertie.
Stinky.
Oh, Grandma Gertie, please.
Oh, boo. Stinky Peterson's a good man.
Well, yeah, but...
Yahoo soda, just drink it.
Yeah, but he's not Grandma Gertie.
Fair enough.
All right, top of the bracket. Can Harvey the Postman into the Final Four for Mr. Win?
Absolutely fucking not.
Harvey.
Mr. Win? Why? I explained why.
Mr. Win doesn't have a jingle.
That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
He doesn't have a jingle.
Shit.
I hate the snow. I hate the snow. I hate the rain and I hate the sleet.
Tell me one other thing about Harvey.
He's cool.
Why?
He's smooth.
Why?
And he talks smooth.
How?
He talks smooth. He has a smooth voice.
Mr. Win is so much better. I don't understand your logic.
And he can rhyme, and he can sing, and he's talented. And
he's Mr. Win can sing. He's a country music singer.
Yeah, but it's not as cool.
Oh my god.
I think I'm gonna vote for Mr. Win.
Goddamn right you are.
I do like Harvey. That's just a bad matchup because I definitely vote for Harvey over Phoebe or Big Bob.
I definitely would not vote for Harvey over Phoebe. Honestly, I wouldn't vote for Harvey over Big Bob. He's got a beeper emporium.
Stop. Okay, so Phoebe versus Big Bob. I'm going to vote for Phoebe.
I'm going to pull a Julian and pick the illogical choice of Big Bob.
Harvey is not illogical. Anyways, I'm voting for Phoebe.
Get Big Bob out of here. Thank you.
I can't believe, hold on. Big Bob is in the final 8. Love it. It was either him or Oscar I wanted to push for.
All right, bottom half of our Elite Eight. Grandpa Phil against Mr. Simmons. I think I'm going Grandpa Phil.
Same.
I have a feeling we're going to get Grandpa versus Grandma next up.
Almost positive. And I
Sure.
Yeah, I don't want Sid. Get Sid out.
Sid sucks. So it's Sid versus Grandma. I think, are we sweeping Grandma into the final four?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sid got some lucky matchups, I'd say.
He really did. All right, so our final four is Mr. Wynn, Phoebe, Grandpa Phil, and Grandma Gertie.
Two of these characters are pretty obvious. Phoebe and Grandpa are like main characters, and Grandma being here isn't surprising. Mr. Wynn, on the other hand, that dope-ass Christmas special carried him far for me.
It has. All right, so the top half, our first matchup is Mr. Wynn against Phoebe. Where are we going?
I'm going Phoebe.
I remember an episode.
Organized. She always keeps her cool. She's always calm, and she is the love interest of Gerald, one of the beloved characters.
Phoebe also lied about having a broken leg to manipulate Helga into doing everything for her. It's pretty shitty.
Ouch.
Which was pretty funny, but she told the truth at the end.
Yeah, but Mr. Wynn has like the best Christmas episode of all time in any TV show.
You can't keep harping off of the same episode this whole time. Why should Mr. Win? Oh, because of the episode. Because of the episode.
Okay, Harvey the Jingle.
Great.
Okay, Harvey the Jingle. Mr. Johansson for literally no reason.
Mr. Johansson was Gerald's father. Gerald's father. He raised a great child. Okay.
He had less airtime in the entire series than Mr. Wynn had in that Christmas episode.
I'm going Phoebe.
Also, Mr. Wynn has rubber duck wallpaper, if I'm not mistaken, and that's cool.
And Phoebe has great fashion sense.
Also, of all the boarding house tenants, Mr. Wynn is the nicest to Arnold and Grandma and Grandpa. Whereas, you got Oscar and Ernie. Fuck those clowns. Voting Mr. Wynn.
I think I'm voting Phoebe also.
Lame.
All right, bottom half, Grandpa Phil against Grandma Gertie.
So we already know this is going to be split to you, Jarek. I'm pretty sure you're going to vote Grandma, aren't you, Julian?
Of course.
I'm going to vote Grandpa.
You never know what you're going to get. With Grandma, it's always fun.
Grandpa's always fun. Talks about
Grandma is always fun.
Grandpa
he talks about his stories all the damn time. Grandma will give you a story. That's the difference.
Grandpa killed a bunch of Nazis by poisoning them.
Yeah, he tells you about that, but you don't live the experience. Grandma will give you an experience that you will never forget.
Hold on now. You think Grandpa won't give you an experience? When he wanted to act like a young child, he tried to sneak into an R-rated film at 80 years old.
That's just dumb.
Also, remember when he thought he was gonna die because everyone in his family died at 81? Then he did the math wrong, and it's like, oh, it's 91.
And you call Grandma senile.
They're both senile.
Yeah, but with Grandma, she's gonna dress up as a pirate, dress up as a cat. She'll show up and teach you kung fu.
And endanger her 10-year-old grandson.
They were not in danger.
Are you what?
That was the smoothest thing when they got the turtle
locked
out.
arms in front of a tree to stop a bulldozer, and if not for the legend Big Bob, they would be dead.
Yeah, it's because Big Bob decided he didn't want to murder his child. You can't put that on Grandma.
She took her grandson and stood him in front of a bulldozer.
He wanted to. He did it. And he
was manipulated by his grandma. Grandpa Phil would never fucking...
He was not manipulated. He went and did it. When Arnold wanted to do something, he would always tell his grandma, like, hey, I'm bothered by something. And you know what Grandma does? She says, you know what? You're right. Let's do something about it. And then they
let's stand in front of a bulldozer. Where the
And they're
grandpa
fine,
would be
are
like,
they not?
You sit here and
And
say,
instead
oh,
of
Gerald
Grandpa would
thought
just like,
things
I
through.
remember.
Grandpa's the
Grandpa
thinker
would
of
just
this
sit there and be like,
relationship.
I remember back in my day, I stood in front of a tree and I did that. And Grandma's like, man, fuck all that bullshit. Let's go actually do it. She was about action. What was Grandpa about? Words. That's the difference.
Sage advice. You talked about how Arnold jumps into things like his grandma without thinking, and Gerald has to be like, let me use my words to convince you that this isn't a good idea. That's Grandpa.
Grandpa will ramble onto things incoherently at some point and then forget what the hell he was talking about. He's done it before. He has a track record of going off on a story and then going, what were we talking about?
Yeah, and the grandma instead dresses
grandma
up like a
will call him out on
cat
that
woman and takes her son into danger. Jarek, what's your final verdict?
God, such compelling argument. I think I'm going with Grandma Gertie.
Yes!
Bro, endanger your child's life.
That's a hell of a good cause to endanger your life for. Man, I'm okay with that.
Grandpa
She's
poked
an
Hitler
actor.
in the eyes. Grandma had nothing to do with World War II. She ain't a hero.
She saved a turtle. They actually saved a turtle.
He poked Hitler in the eye.
No one was there for that. No one saw it. It was just a story. So it's all speculation. He could have made that shit up.
There's a statue erected in his honor.
Not about the Hitler part, though.
No, but about poisoning a bunch of Nazis and the cause of winning a major battle in the war.
All right, final matchup: Grandma Gertie against Phoebe.
Grandma Gertie.
I knew it. I already knew it.
The finals was last matchup.
I'll give Phoebe a pity vote, I guess.
I mean, let's be honest. We all knew the finals was Grandpa versus Grandma, right?
Yes, we did.
All right, so our best secondary Hey Arnold character, Grandma Gertie, rode the gauntlet, dispatched of Grandpa Phil. Boom, bang, bam, she's the best.
She is the best.
She's cool. She's the second best.
I hate her.
So did this mostly seems like it turned out kind of how you guys were thinking?
I was hoping I could
It
convince
turned out
people.
exactly how I wanted it to turn out.
I was hoping I could convince you guys to push Big Bob or Oscar further, despite their major character flaws. But I could. Well, actually, Big Bob beat two people.
Yeah, it beat two kind of shitty people.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, neither of those are actually as bad as Big Bob.
Right.
No, Big Bob has bigger character than both the people that he beat. You can't beat Phoebe because Phoebe's a staple. And then you can't really beat. I'm just happy because I've been writing Grandma this whole time. I've been going for her this whole time.
Yeah.
He ain't no Grandpa Phil. If Jarek watched the show, he would have seen the error in his voting.
You would have seen that Grandma's about that action.
She's about endangering her child or
She's
her
about
grandchild.
that action. And also teaching her grandchild how to be a motherfucking badass activist who goes out there and gets his. Grandpa will just talk your ear off.
About sage advice.
Oh man,
Sage advice.
actions always speak louder than words.
Oh, you change
The
your
old adage is
change.
correct. It's true.
You change your tune. You change your
Grandma
tune.
about that action, Gertie.
Out that action. All right. Anything else before we wrap this episode up?
I'm very happy with this turnout.
Hey, look, I don't think this is a bad turnout either.
It was a great turnout.
I'm thrilled about it myself. All right, so it was a lot of fun for me learning about these characters, about a show that I've maybe seen like half an episode of in my entire life. This was cool. I might check it out. I think it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Might check it out one day, watch an episode or three. All right, well, for Andy Misek, the guy with the best name in the whole wide world, for Julian, about that action Griffin, I am Andy Jarek. We will see you next week on Bracket Up.